Another deadly strike in the Black Sea, and Ukraine is pointing directly at Moscow. Kyiv says Russian forces have hit 2 civilian cargo vessels off Ukraine's southern coast, killing a crew member and escalating fears over the safety of global food shipping routes. According to Ukrainian officials, one ship flying the flag of St. Kitts and Nevis was on its way to load grain at the port of Chornomorsk. The second, flying the flag of the Komoro, carrying soybeans, was struck near Odessa while carrying soybeans. Ukraine's Restoration Minister Oleksiy Kuleba confirmed that a Syrian national working as a crew member was killed in the attack, calling it yet another deliberate assault on civilian targets. He accused Russia of targeting international shipping and food logistics, a charge Kyiv has made repeatedly as the war drags on. This is not the first time. Just last month, Ukraine blamed Moscow for attacks on cargo ferries transporting sunflower oil, fresh fruits, vegetables, and other food supplies, vital not just for Ukraine, but for global markets already under strain. The Black Sea, once a key artery for agricultural exports, is increasingly becoming a combat zone. Turkey has warned of a worrying escalation in the region, especially after Ukraine claimed naval drone attacks on tankers linked to Russia. In December, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan urged restraint, calling for a limited ceasefire on attacks targeting ports and energy facilities during talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The same month, Putin also vowed to intensify attacks on Ukrainian ships in Black Sea.
This is piracy, nothing else. Before that, the Ukrainian armed forces tried to attack our seaports. We reciprocated. I would like to emphasize this. We reciprocated with similar strikes. And I assure you, these strikes were much more powerful, much stronger. And first of all, they were launched against the vessels, against the ships that were used to supply military equipment and ammunition to Ukraine, and we hit precisely where we intended to. And you can see it from the explosions that were caused by the strikes, secondary explosions, secondary detonation. And what's the Ukrainian armed forces doing now? That's piracy. What kind of response could be? We can enhance our strikes against the port infrastructure and against the vessels that are entering Ukrainian ports. That's one. Secondly, if this goes on, then we will look into the possibility, I'm not saying that we will do this, but we will consider it to perform some actions against the vessels of those countries that are helping Ukraine with performing these piracy actions. So we might cut Ukraine off the sea to stop them from being involved with these piracy tactics.
Честно говоря, даже еще не получил информацию, знаю, что это происходило, атаки на танкеры в нейтральных или даже не в нейтральных водах, а в особой экономической зоне другого государства, третьего государства. Это пиратство, не что иное. Значит, они раньше, украинские вооруженные силы, пытались наносить удары по нашим портам морским. Мы отвечали именно. Мы не начинали этих операций такими же ударами. Уверяю вас, что они гораздо более эффективные и мощные. И это прежде всего касалось тех судов, кораблей, на которых доставлялось в Украину военное имущество, оборудование военное и боеприпасы. И мы попадали именно туда, куда хотели, о чем свидетельствуют вторичные взрывы, которые мы наблюдали с помощью воздушной разведки. Но вот то, что делают украинские вооруженные силы сейчас, это пиратство. Ну что, какие ответные меры могут быть? Во-первых, мы расширим номенклатуру таких ударов наших по портовым сооружениям и по кораблям, по судам, которые заходят в украинский порт. Первое. Второе. Если это будет продолжаться, мы рассмотрим возможность, я не говорю, что мы это будем делать, но рассмотрим возможность ответных мер в отношении судов тех стран, которые помогают Украине осуществлять эти пиратские акции. Ну, самый радикальный способ – это отрезать Украину от моря. Тогда ей невозможно будет заниматься пиратством в принципе. Но это все как бы по нарастающей. Надеюсь, что украинское военное руководство, политическое руководство, а также те, кто стоит за их спиной, подумают, стоит ли продолжать.
But with cargo ships now under fire and civilians among the dead, fears are growing that the Black Sea crisis is entering a far more dangerous phase. For Ukraine, the message is clear. These are not military targets. They are ships carrying food. And the cost, once again, is human life. In the dark waters of the Black Sea, a new and dangerous front may be opening. On Wednesday, an oil tanker bound for Russia came under attack, not by missiles, not by warships, but by unmanned drones. The Palau-flagged L-10 Saras was sailing east toward the Russian port of Novorossiysk when it suddenly encountered what maritime intelligence describes as an unmanned marine vehicle and drone attack. The incident occurred roughly 30 nautical miles off Turkey's coastline, in waters critical to global energy and grain shipping. Moments later, the ship made a sharp, unexpected turn toward the Turkish coast. A distress call was sent. Turkey's Coast Guard responded immediately, dispatching teams to the scene and escorting the tanker to safety. According to maritime tracking data, the L-10 Saras later dropped anchor near the northern Turkish port of Inebolu, arriving under its own power. The damage appears limited. The tanker was reportedly struck in its upper sections, with some reports suggesting the engine room was targeted. No injuries were reported among the 25 crew members. No pollution has been detected, but the message sent by the attack is unmistakable. This is not an isolated incident. Since November, at least 5 commercial tankers trading with Russia have been attacked in the Black Sea. 2 of those strikes occurred just off Turkey's coast, involving vessels traveling to the same port, Novorossiysk. Several of the ships targeted had previously been sanctioned by Western countries for allegedly transporting Russian oil in violation of post-2022 restrictions. Moscow has reacted sharply to these attacks. The Kremlin says these attacks violate international maritime law and infringe on Turkey's sovereignty. Presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov warned the incidents are serious and could disrupt ongoing diplomatic efforts. Russia has also denied operating a so-called shadow fleet. Turkey, meanwhile, has voiced growing concern. Ankara says the strikes occurred within its exclusive economic zone, posing serious risks to navigation, maritime safety, and the environment. Behind the scenes, shipping insurers are already responding. After similar drone strikes in late November last year, insurance rates for vessels operating in the Black Sea surged, a sign of rising fear across the maritime industry. No one has officially claimed responsibility for the latest attack. Ukraine has not commented. Turkey's transport ministry has remained silent. The Russian embassy in Ankara offered no immediate response, or confirmed nor denied. The Black Sea is a lifeline shared by Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, and several NATO members. Any escalation here risks far more than damaged ships. As drones stalk tankers and tensions rise, one question now looms large. Is this the beginning of a shadow war at sea, or a warning of something much bigger still to come?